Hello again. So now we're going to do an accordion book. I love an accordion book. It's a great way to store your little photos. You can journal in them. You can make pockets. You can add to them all you want. We're going to make a version of this particular book, and I'm going to share with you how to do that right now. Now, in the packet marked accordion book, you're going to find 2 sheets of black linen cardstock, 8 by 10. You're also going to find 2 of the mat boards. These mat boards are really nice. They're not your typical chipboard. And these are cut already to 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. So to attach this to its cover, we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got all the other pieces laying around us here. I'm going to go ahead and stick some glue down to this. If you want to use double stick adhesive tape, you can. If you get a big glob on there, I would recommend you take your finger and just simply wipe it so that it doesn't really stick, pucker the paper really. I'm doing this on the back of the black linen, kind of centering it, and I'm going to press this down firmly. Oops. Stick some tape down so that it won't move on me. All right, now to cover this, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to burnish around the edges so I can define where the edge of the mounting board is. And that will give me a good place to fold because I'm not going to bend it back and forth. Since I used glue, it's not secure enough yet. It hadn't dried. So I want to go ahead and do it a little bit differently this time. I'm going to slowly bend it up like this. Just like that. That was my first just like that. Yep. I say it too much. All right, I'm pressing that down pretty firmly. Now I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing again on the opposite side. Now we're going to do this one together and then I'm going to do the other one off camera. And that way it'll give you time to be able to go back and do both of yours. Now I'm going to turn it to an end. Same thing. I'm holding down on the mat board so that it won't lift. And I'm just slowly working it. You've done this so many times with me. You know exactly what to do. There we go. All right, now I've got that done. Excellent. So now I'm going to take my score tape and I'm going to run it down the edges. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and cut this before I remove my backings. And to cut it, I'm going to miter my corners down to within 1/8 of an inch of the corner there. You know what I'm talking about. You've done it many times together with me. So we're going to quickly do this. To be truthful, I could tell you to just cover them, but in case somebody forgot, I want to do it on camera. Now I'll pull all my backings off. Alrighty, we're about done here. And I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to run it down that crease. I'm not going to put a tremendous amount of glue because that tape's going to hold it really well. So I'm going to put that right there. Got sidetracked for a second. wiping off any excess glue. Now I'm going to go on the opposite side, do the same thing. There we go. One more after this one. Looking nice. Made a few improvements to the kit, but one of the things I've had to face is I'm going to have to change the box styles because I'm not able to buy in the bulk I was before. So I had to change that up a little bit. I hope that doesn't upset everybody. All right, I'm looking to see if I have any little what I call furries on the end. Just one. Cut him off so he doesn't stick out. All right, now I want you to go off camera, do your other one, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got our two ends, or our two covers. There's no spine on this one. None at all, okay? There's not a spine. So we're going to go ahead and assemble our pages. You get 3 of them that are 7 by 11. So you got 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do these pages before we do the cover on the inside. These have a 1/2 score line here, and then they have another one at the 5 3/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend back on my scoring and burnish it down. And I'm kind of doing it opposite. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them that way or not. I can always bend it backwards, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do that on all of them. Okay. And like I said, it really doesn't matter which way you're going on these. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. There we go. And the last one. All right. Now, all right, what I want you to do first is to take this, and I know you've got that 1/2 border there, but I want you to attach it like this. This is the back of my book, okay? So I'm going to glue this flap down flat. Okay, I'm going to glue that little flap down. You can cut it off if you prefer, but just to make things simple, I'm just gluing it down flat. Good. Smooth that out. Good. Now, this flap that you have, and this is the reason why I left it on there so you'd know what you're doing. You're going to glue the flap down to this surface. Okay? So I want you to take the glue now and cover the back where the flap is glued down. Doing this backwards makes a lot more sense than doing it forwards, trust me. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to put my pages together so I can center it. That looks great. And I'm going to press that down. Let me open it up so I can press it. Hopefully I got that fairly straight. I can see I was off a little because I'm trying to do it from an angle. All right, now I'm going to take my next page, which I've already folded. Okay, I've got my 1/2 here. I've got my valley fold. And what I want you to do is take this, and I want you to glue the flap to the back side of this page. This is the back. This is the flap that goes up, okay? And I'm going to take that little lip there and glue it to the back. Not the whole page, just the little lip, so it'll expand out like that, okay? So I'm going to put glue on here. You can use double stick tape if you want. I always worry that I'll get too much on there. Now, I'm going to lay it down, hold my flap down, and I'm going to try to get it centered and angled correctly on here. Now, when I press down, it should be fairly well done to that page. I didn't get it quite over enough, but close enough, guys. So now my accordion is starting to take shape. Now, the next page, you're going to take it, and let's see, you're going to fold it the same way, but we're going to also glue it down to the front of our book, leaving this flap up. Now, I've already done that just to show you. This one's glued to the front. It did not have a flap under it. Now, I'm going to glue this flap to this just perfectly. So let me go ahead and add a little bit of glue to that. Okay. And I'm going to turn it this time and get my head in the way so I can try my best to get it done correctly. That looks pretty awesome. And then press it down. So your flaps are on the back of the pages. See? They're back here. This is a flap. This is a flap here. And then the other flap's on the back of your book. Easy peasy. I mean, that's awesome. Now that we've got our book together, okay, again, you can use either side. You could use this one if you want because the flap doesn't really show up. You can use either side that you wish for the flap, or for the front, excuse me. But I'm going to now take the other pieces that came in my kit. You got a green that is 5.5 by 5.5 and an ivory that's 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. I want you to glue these two together. You've got a 1/16 of an inch border, okay? You glue them together and this is what you get. It's glued down, okay? And we're going to put that on our accordion book here. You can pop it up if you want to, but I'm going to glue mine down. But first, I'm going to put the rest of my piece on here. And I am going to pop up this. Isn't that gorgeous? It's a honeysuckle. I think it was Crafter's Companion did this embossing folder. And I just loved it. It matches our pattern on the paper since it's all part of the Crafter's Companion honeysuckle group. It looked awesome. So now let me grab some mounting foam. And I'm going to put it on the back. You're asking probably, why am I popping it up? I'll tell you. Anytime I do something with an embossing folder that has a lot of three-dimensional pop, I use mounting foam because it will hold it. Glue sometimes won't hold well because so much of it's recessed. Okay? It's personal preference. That's all. Whatever floats your boat. Put one in the middle there. Okay. Voila. And then I'm going to press those down firmly. Make sure it stays. Take my backing off. Okay. And then I'm going to stick it down to the mat. Let's see here. That looks pretty straight to me. See how it emphasizes that pretty embossing folder? Okay. Now I'm going to just simply glue that down to my front of my book. You can glue it wherever you prefer to position it, but we're going to put some wording underneath it. I'm kind of doing it a little heavy here because I don't want it to pop off. Alrighty. So I'm going to take my book, put this down, line it up. That looks awesome. Isn't that beautiful? And then I'm going to take the wording that you have in a little bag. You've got a shadow of the wording. This is a little saying that says, remember this, which is so appropriate for your scrapbooking. And you have a little wording that says this. So you're going to put that on there. And to glue those down, if you haven't seen this little trick before, I'll show you now. I'm going to use a scratch sheet of acetate here. And I'm going to take my glue and put a dab on there. And I'm going to just take my lettering and dab it, just the back of it, onto that glue, just a smidgen. Because you don't want a whole lot of glue. Let me see if I can pull in. I don't want a whole lot of glue on that lettering because that gold will show the glue. And then I'm going to lay it down on my shadow. If I can get you in frame. Excellent. Got the remember down. Now let's put this. Okay, and we'll put it right there. Oops, got it crooked. Let me get some more glue on there. There we go. Remember this. Excellent. Put this in the trash so I won't get it all over me. And then I'm going to pop this up on the front of my book. So now I'm going to find a little bit more tape here. Here's a piece. I'll just use that. I'll cut it a couple of little pieces. Dum-de-dum. Wasn't this easy? I mean, you couldn't ask for a quicker book. And this looks so impressive when you give it to somebody because they think you've spent hours doing it instead of 15 minutes. And then we'll pop this on here. Now, let's talk about closures. I did not put a closure on this. You could go back now and actually put a ribbon around the whole thing and tie a pretty bow. You could have put a ribbon here and a ribbon there and tied them on the side. Just put them underneath those folds like we did. You could have done that easily, but I just wanted this one to be loose because I can picture it having the pictures on there, on here, and then somebody standing it up on their desk because it'll stand up on its own, guys. Isn't that cool? So there you have it. You have an accordion book done, and it'll fit in this snugly in the back of your little tray. So, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. All right. So now we're going to do an accordion book. This is an awesome type of book that's used in scrapbooking quite a bit. We're going to make a version of this one. The one we're going to make is just a hair different, so I want to get started with that right now. So you're going to need the packet that comes for the accordion book, and in it you're going to have some mat board. This is a high-grade mat board, not really a chipboard, more of a mat board like for photos. And you're going to use some of the black linen cardstock. I've already got mine set up to, you need 2 of these that are 8 by 10 inches.